Hey everyone, welcome back to ARTV. My name is John and it's time for another Top 10 Countdown. Today I'm going to be doing one that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and recently the stars aligned because I'm counting down my top 10 favorite All-American Rejects songs, as you can see from the title, but they're now celebrating their 20th anniversary as a band. They were founded in 1999, they recently released a new EP called Send Her to Heaven, and I'm excited to count down my favorites from them because it gave me an excuse to revisit their discography. Feel free to chime in with your thoughts and feelings on my own personal list, but at the end of the day, keep in mind that it's just my opinion and yours is yours, so nobody's wrong at the end of the day. We're here to celebrate some of the good music from The Rejects. They're a band that I feel deserved a lot better, even though they had plenty of success. People just kind of forgot about them, so I do hope that you guys will enjoy this video. If you do, please leave a like on it and subscribe for the love of music. If there's one thing that most people seem to remember about the All-American Rejects outside of, aren't they that 2000s band that appeared in shows like Smallville and One Tree Hill? They'll probably quote you a line from this song, Gives You Hell. Despite it being their most successful, peaking at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100, it's also one of their best because everything about this song still holds up so well. The bitterness, the jealousy, but also just the bitter rage that's seething out of every pore of this track as they try to talk to seemingly an ex-lover and talking about how's your life stacking up now, here's where I am. And the music video does a great job at accenting that even further, but everything about this song is just so tightly wound. I love it. It came out of their pop punk phase and moved them into something, I guess, a little bit more refined, but also petty at the same time. The guitars are perfect. The overall melody, the vocals here, it just picks up steam as it keeps going. The subdued guitar solos even, they're really nice. Just a little inside, won't make this right. It's too late to fight. Please tell me that I'm not the only one that thought this song was about a relationship for the longest time. I recently found out that It Ends Tonight, my number 9 selection, is about a dude, as Tyson, Ritter, the lead singer, actually put it. It's about a former guitar tech for The Rejects that Tyson constantly bickered with. And I love this song for what it is. It could apply to a lot of different scenarios. I like the pianos that open it up. It's a very nice ballad-styled song. And then it has an explosive, more uplifting feeling as the track keeps rising and going. It was one of the final songs that they made for the Move Along album, and I'm so glad that it found a home here because it's electrifying once it finally truly takes off. New feature alert, at number 8 we have Send Her to Heaven, a song that really struck a chord with me immediately. I love songs that just come racing right out of the gate, and this does that. The guitars are instant, they're right there, and then it kind of lets off the gas pedal a little bit. You can hear the stuttered vocals as he's like, Molly was her name, and then you've got that kind of over-the-top, grandiose key that's just playing kind of a cheesy tune, but it's intentionally done so that they can lure you in for the rest of the track. It's just a really well-written song, and I love a track like this. It's great to see the Rejects thriving with the track in 2019. Even though this song had existed for quite some time, I'm super stoked that it got a proper release. Obviously, there's plenty of drug references packed in here. Molly the party girl, Molly the ecstasy. However you want to say it, this song rules. Us kids that grew up in the 90s and 2000s can relate to Kids in the Street, the title track from their 2012 album Hard. Maybe a little bit too hard at times. Kids in the Street is something that, as the years have gone by, has become increasingly sad for me to listen to. I think the Rejects are often associated with more upbeat music, or maybe just more carefree or else bitter relationship type stuff, but this song took a break from that to really pinpoint a place in time. As Tyson, Ritter himself kind of described it, the candle of your youth is still burning, but also the candle of cynicism has yet to be lit. And I know that point in time, I know that age, that was right around like 20 or 21 for me, and now at 27 years old at the time of recording this video, I feel jaded on a lot of things, but I also feel some of that childhood innocence like back there somewhere, and Kids in the Street is that conflicting song that does a great job at balancing some extra synth lines, some awesome guitars, and some great vocals to send it all home.
I'll keep you my dirty little secret.
It's the song that started it all, ladies and gents. I had to include it on the list. At number 6, I have Dirty Little Secret from Move Along. My favorite album from them. I think it's easily their best. This is a fantastic and, dare I say, foot-stomping opening song. Just one of the best album openers, I think, from that point in time, especially in that pop-punk scene that was really gaining so much momentum. I think the Rejects also had a lot of great lyric writing on this record, and Dirty Little Secret is just a fun song. It's like, I'm gonna keep this hidden, and they do it under the guise of a really fun track, and I think Tyson Ritter has some of his best vocals in their entire career here, and Nick Wheeler's solo on this, even the kind of instrumental fade, a little bit of chaos, and then it eventually fades out. A great way to kind of wind things up and then let that spark die out. Number 5, Swing Swing from their debut self-titled album that released in 2002. Swing Swing is something that I kind of debated between for a long time when I was putting this list together. I've had the idea to do a top 10 on the Rejects for quite some time, and at first I was considering My Paper Heart, but honestly it just hasn't held up as well through the years, so Swing Swing is the one that got the inclusion. This is a track that does kind of have that slow start. It feels like a summer day, and it winds you in, and then it kind of spits you out. I love everything from the album art here, which is very nostalgic in and of itself, and the overall feeling of this track. It is, again, kind of lighthearted, but also talking about something that was important to Ritter at the time. I think this is one of those songs that you can just look back on very, very fondly, and it holds up well from that time period. Number 4, Top of the World. Anyone out there play Burnout Revenge? Well, if so, then you know this song was in the soundtrack. This was the second song that I ever heard from them, surprisingly even before Move Along. I had just discovered Dirty Little Secret, then I bought a PlayStation 2 and was playing Burnout Revenge, and my mind was getting blown by the awesome songs on the soundtrack. This was always one of my favorites because I love that, dare I say, kind of European flavored guitar that opens up the track. It just feels classy and then it drops you into it. And it's talking about this person that's kind of hungry for power. And I love how this track is structured. It kind of reserves itself at first, and then it's like the tiger that's ready to chomp during the chorus. The guitars are fantastic. Tyson's vocals, I just always felt that he was unique in that department, and he delivers once again here on one of their greatest tunes. The heated, jaded, burned out feeling you get from being in countless relationships that continue to not work out for a myriad of different reasons is what fuels my number 3 selection, Some Days Gone, from the album Kids in the Street. This was the first promo single that we got from that album cycle, and I was ecstatic when this came down the pipeline because it definitely screams classic Rejects, but it's also so freaking bitter. This track just really pushes it all to the forefront, and it's not suffocating any feelings at all. We get a barrage of guitars to kick it off, and then the whole what makes you so damn sure that you're perfect or worth it, and it continues to spill out of Ritter. And I just love how he sells us on the overall emotional feeling before hitting that climax of where he walks into the room and says, I walk in here and it looks like you fucked everyone here, and it's just so unapologetically in your face. It's getting it all out there. Somebody's having a meltdown, and I'm here for it. Stab My Back carves its way into the number 2 position. This is a little bit more downtrodden, and again, you could point to the Rejects and say, oh, they're just this sullen, melancholic band that writes sometimes bright songs about girls, and then sometimes they're a little bit moodier, but I love the mood of the Rejects. I think that they wear those colors well, especially on a track like this. They really get the kind of light drums, but also a propel to a chorus down pat. The guitars are very unique, especially in the context of their discography, and this song to me definitely speaks volumes about kind of infidelity, mistrust, and misguided feelings and anger within a relationship. There's a lot of misunderstandings here, especially when Ritter cries out, "I hope that love he gave you was just enough to save you. You nearly broke my heart." Those words always stuck with me. Before finally going back into that last chorus, it all comes together and sums up perfectly. One of the greatest motivational songs I have ever heard is the title track Move Along from their 2005 record. This is definitely fueled by pop punk. I love the punchy drums and also the really chipper bass line that kind of grooves us into the song before those stuttered guitars unleash, and also Tyson's voice on this track. I love how it genuinely concretes the feeling of, yes, this is awful. This is a horrible situation that we might be in life, but it keeps it specific yet vague enough to apply to a lot of different situations without coming across as cheesy. That is really hard to do. I made a video about horrible, cheesy motivational anthems. This is the opposite of that. This is one of those songs that lights a fire within the listener, and it's genuinely still great 15 years on. This was an easy choice for me to put at number 1. It helped me out greatly back in the day, and I owe a lot to the Rejects for some of those songs from this very record because they did push me through some of the darker times, and I could relate to a track like this, but also still in my adult years, it's easy to get caught up in certain things that don't really matter. It's time to let it go and to move along like I know you do. Thank you so much to everybody who tuned in to my top 10 favorite All-American Rejects songs. This was a video that I know some people were really anxious and excited for, and I do hope that some people at least checked it out because, again, this seems to be a band that people kind of forgot about, so hopefully some of these great songs will put them back on your radar. Hit the like button on this video if you enjoyed it because it takes less than a second of your time and it helps out the channel greatly and helps YouTube know to push out my content. If you haven't already, then please subscribe for the love of music, and if you want to see another video where I talked about the Rejects, then tap this annotation here, or tap here for another top 10 countdown. All of my social media accounts, including my Instagram, go follow me, are linked in the description, and I'll see you soon for more on ARTV.